Good afternoon everyone. Alright, so today, short and sweet, we've got a Volkswagen Beetle cluster in now. This cluster has had work done to it before. It's got multiple damage points on it, but what I'm going to show on this video is resoldering this main processor. So this chip here, there's a bunch of pins that weren't soldered correctly, so we're going to resolder the whole chip. This, as you can see, it's a 9S12, what part number is it? There we go, we'll just put it under the scope. No, sorry, it's an XC525 processor. Plenty of little pins there, so we're going to show the micro soldering. I will drag solder this, so we'll clean everything. I've already done one side, but I'm going to flux everything up and then we'll drag solder all the pins and check over them all. Alright, so there we are, you're on the screen. First thing, we're going to clean this up. It's a bit of an awkward angle, there is a little bit glare just the way the camera's sitting, but as you can see, this is the side that I've done, so I'm going to go over and just clean this. All these pins look good, I don't have any bridges, so we're going to do the same to the other side. Let's start up here. This side doesn't look too bad, but we'll reflow it anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the board around so I can get a good working angle. Make sure that we're all nice and clean. The side that I've done was the worst, but if we're going to do it, we might as well do it properly. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot air just over that to clean that isopropyl alcohol off. There we go. Nice and dry. Now, I'll flux this area up, so just like that. More flux the better, without being too messy, and we will clean all this up after. Now with drag soldering, we've got the soldering iron set on a relatively low temperature. I don't really have to use any solder on the end. The iron tip is pretty clean, and I have got a big chisel tip on. Now all we're going to do is we're literally going to drag over all these pins, just like that. Takes a little bit to get the hang of, but once you pick it up, you'll be fine with it. And this is a lot harder under the camera. Now, as you can see, we're going to have bridges up this top part. It all looks pretty good. We do have a bridge there that I just fixed up. And there's also a small bridge here. We'll just drag all that off. And that looks pretty good. If I put that iron back, I might give it a little bit of a clean up. There's one bridge there. I'll fix that, and I will go over and check once I've done the other side as well. We'll check. When you do this, you do have to be relatively gentle, just because if I was to knock one of these pins the wrong direction, we would end up pulling it off. I have fixed and seen broken pins before, so if I just go along here, as you can see, this is all pretty good. We've got a small bridge here. We're able to just wipe out. That all looks pretty good. Put the iron back and give it a clean down, see what we reckon. Now this is how we go about, obviously if we have to do a chip swap on an ECU or something, modules that are encrypted and we actually have to swap the whole processor over to clone them, this is how I would go about soldering it back on. A little bit more ISO. And as you can see, doing it that way you get a nice even clean solder joint that looks better than factory. This is with 6040 leaded solder as well, so it's got slightly lower melting temp. This side, we've got to clean this side off properly. So there's our two sides that are done. That is nice and even, so I might do a time lapse of doing the others now.